doing our own work, to survive. Or 3 pounds of fish, feeding humanity. By John Clark. So, in a movie cliché, get on board if you are hungry. Plato was one of the teachers in history who knew what our work is, and how to do it. His dialogues attempt to help teach it. One drawback is that some of what is claimed to be Plato's work is actually not, and is a waste of time and counterproductive. The Bible is another source, and likewise how primitive men interpret it is presently not our concern. Let the idiots be idiots, we have work to do. However, our job takes a great deal of intelligence, therefore, historically both of these works were and are above the mental imitations of ordinary mortals. This essay is about what we are, why we are, and how to do that job in order to survive. This has been historically unattainable simply because we are in a state of evolution, which is attempting to make a functional human being, because our job is survival and is inclusive of the entire planet and beyond. By now, people should understand, it takes a certain fitness to survive. As we are that life support system called mind, we must learn and achieve a fit mind. A great number of people have spoken on the topic which were too stupid to know that they did not know a thing. Doing our own work starts with science, what we factually are, and proven methods of doing our job. Our job is the greatest job possible for a life form, and therefore it takes a much longer time to make such an animal. If you find that you do not study, nor find pleasure in work, there is nothing in this essay for you. A fit mind is motivated to do our own work. We are that life support system, unlike the other life support systems of the body, which takes advantage of memory and memory management, starting with learning what we are, why we are, and how to achieve the fitness required to function. In short, we have to have a mind in order to use that mind. There comes a cusp point in evolution by which we become intelligent enough to help in our own evolution, to give that evolution the push it needs to achieve its goals, making an animal which can have dominion over the entire biosphere. Our job is science, and achieved by a foundation of science which defines us. Our job requires the recursion of memory so that we can use that memory to predict, before we commit, to behaviors which maintain and promote life. It is the recursion of a fit mind which is the biological intention to be fit to survive. Memory is retained virtualizations of experience. We manage that memory using grammar systems. A dim-witted person does not examine their responses to word usage, and therefore are too dim-witted to use them to survive. In short, by the word we effect life-supporting behavior. This is called literate, logic, rational, predictive behavior, survivalism and prophecy. Do any of these sets of words incite contrary emotional responses? If they do, something is not wrong with the words, something is wrong with you. It is a strange thing to treat your tools as if they had a life of their own. That strangeness is simply stupidity. So, by now, you may have guessed, we first learn about memory management by the use of grammar systems. Science depends upon repeatability. We start what has only been taught by Plato. The repeatability of our grammar systems. Every system of grammar is designed for recursion using binary, so that each of them, if you put the same questions to them, will give us the same results. Binary recursion can only produce a binary result. So, let us set down the definition of a thing in all 4 systems of grammar, starting with that grammar system which provides us with universal paradigms by which to follow for each system of grammar. A universal paradigm is perceptible from which one can, using grammatical fact, lead to consistent usage of terms in all 4 systems of grammar. That grammar is called geometry, or often Euclidean geometry, which is actually a misnomer. Our mind works by the image, or virtualization of experience. In the short metaphorical of it, we say what we see. So, let us start looking. If you do not find that you have the vision to see what will be presented, you cannot proceed until the simple presentation is clear. We start building a mind from the ground up. Perception is provided by our body's sense systems, of which we use to our advantage. This perception is parsed, that is, perception provides us with constantly changing information called data streaming. Fundamentally, we know that everything we perceive is comprised of some shape with some material within that shape. The shape quantifies the material in the shape. The shape is a container, which we also call the limits of the material. We can thus name shapes, and we can name materials within shapes. This is a binary called by many descriptions, quantity and quality, like 3 pounds of fish, where 3 pounds is the quantity and fish the quality. Or again, 3 pounds is the limit, and fish the material within limits. So contrary to the gibberish of grammarians, we let what we see do the talking. We parse our environment in grammar exactly the same way we perceive it. Parsing means limiting a relative, or asserting a container over the material. Now take the figure above, Z is the material difference, we have called fish, and X to Y is the limit, or 3 pounds. Makes you think that grammarians often speak as if standing on their head. That is how we use geometry to learn grammar. So, when I say 3 pounds of fish, the word of means I am asserting a limit, a boundary over the material difference called fish. You should now, in your own mind, start to assign a convention of naming using a simple line, which you parse by your own hand. It is no longer a line with no meaning, it is now the means by which you, by your own will, make it a tool. Notice that this tool is easily transportable, physically and intelligibly. Now, are you like the idiot who claims that because we have data streaming, that means that we cannot do with that data exactly what the universe does with it? Our ability to cut wood, stone, steel, affords us the ability to make innumerable number of life-supporting physical tools, all based on the idea of simple information parsing, that is, parsing a data stream. If you cannot master the simple definition of a thing, you are certainly not worth much. Everything is composed of quantity and quality, limits over material, correlatives over relative, nouns and verbs. You can express what you see in any number of ways, as long as we think of what we see all in the same manner. This allows us to now learn, with a clear idea, about our conventions of names. Language is universal and intelligible, while grammar is particular and perceptible. Eventually, we learn to say 3 pounds of fish, geometrically using common grammar, arithmetic, algebra and geometry like so. Hopefully, we can, just like children, learn to say a lot more than 3 pounds of fish using our grammar matrix. We will learn how to make complete computational systems, visual paradigms of all reasoning. That is no easy task. However, by now, you should understand, unless you become as a child again, you can in no wise see the kingdom of God, the power of the universe. It teaches you, by biological fact, how to do your job.
False words are not only evil in themselves, but they infect the mind with evil. Phaedo by Plato,